It is a beautiful spring morning and we are on a new permission this morning. This may be the last time this spring that we will be able to detect a farm field because the farmers are out and they are grooming their fields and planting their crops. We got lucky with this site in that the farmer doesn't intend to work with it for a few more days yet. So what we know about this site is that it was originally founded by one of the pioneers in this township. So that would be going back to late 1850s, 1860s, somewhere in there. And then the farm was operated and lived in for the next 80 or 100 years. So we're hoping that we will find, obviously, the oldest artifacts here, but I expect we'll be finding artifacts from the many decades in between. So I am going to get started because I can't wait to see what we find today.
Old as dirt.
So we are still trying to locate the concentration of iron that typically suggests where buildings stood, particularly we're looking for the house. Now, a house that was demolished in recent decades, sometimes what we find in these farm fields is that they would have had the heavy equipment to dig a gigantic pit and shove all the debris into the pit and bury it. Of course, that takes all the surrounding soil with it, including the artifacts. We were on a site last weekend where that's exactly what happened, and we just could not understand why we weren't finding anything. And later, when we talked to the farmer who grew up in that farm, he said he remembers exactly how they did it. They dug a 30-foot deep pit and just shoved the old buildings into it. And so even though we found a few shards on the surface, there just wasn't much there to find. So, we're hoping that this is not also the case, since this house was demolished and removed within the memory of the farmer. Well, I've got a very strong 72 here. So far, we have not found a concentration of nails to indicate precisely where the house was. So we're still exploring. Well, this looks like a very old pull tab off a can. That's not a style you see in recent decades, but still does not qualify as an artifact in my book. Okay, Dan thinks he's found the house over there, so we're going to work our way that way, see if we can find any evidence of it. Here is a 72, and I see a glass shard right there. This looks like some kind of little cap to something. No, it's a gear. Some kind of gear for something. Dan has got the first good find of the day. What do you got, buddy?
Definitely was a Catholic neighborhood.
Oh, he found a medallion. Oh, sure.
Yeah, we definitely got the site over there.
Good.
Come on over.
Excellent. Aluminum?
Yeah.
Okay. So we are in, by the way, we are in a pocket here in the county where there were a lot of immigrants from Ireland. So very strong Catholic presence here. And that might not be the only medallion we find.
Probably not.
Good job. Well, this site is going to keep us hopping, I think. I no sooner talk to Dan than I run into a very bright 84 right there. Oh, it is a coin. What do we have here? What do we have? Let's see what this is. Yeah, this is a token. It says Bill's Green Lantern. This is awesome. Does it have a good for? Good.
Yeah.
For something. It says Bill's
5 cents.
Bill's Green Lantern on the back of it.
It's a 5-cent token.
Yeah. Yep.
Good for 5 cents.
Good for 5 cents
The other
at
side is going to be the money.
Bill's Green Lantern something.
Oh, cool. I think it says Medford.
Medford, really?
Green Lantern.
Yeah.
Looks like FRD, I think.
It could well
brush for
be,
this
but
one.
we're nowhere near Medford. So somebody was traveling
Well,
to,
it may or may not.
doing a little bar hopping. There's an 85. Very bright, probably not too deep. Whatever that is. I do not think that is, I don't think there's anything written on it. Oops. It looks like some kind of aluminum bushing or something like that. And 3 steps later, I've got an 81, 82. This place is going to be productive. A little bit hairy sounding, so that's going to be an irregular shape. I think I see it here. Yeah. Again, on just a little piece of mystery metal. This has a little paint on it. So not that old. This was in the 60s. And I can see what it is here. I believe this is part of a Model T ignition system. If I'm not mistaken, there was more to it, but this looks very distinctive, and I think that's what that was. It would correspond with the era where this farm was active, because it would have gone through the early part of the 1900s. Dan is giving me one of his signature, oh ho 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 ho, which means he found something good. Let's see what he's got. Oh ho 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 ho. Oh ho ho ho, silver. Oh, great
A
big,
beautiful big crowdle bell,
beautiful
complete
crowdle bell.
with the pedals.
Oh ho 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 ho.
Yeah,
That
Santa
is
Claus came.
beautiful.
It's a size 8.
That is
Beautiful
beautiful.
condition.
Oh my goodness.
Look at that condition.
Oh my, that's a big one too.
Yep, size 8. Got the old style
That's my shoe size.
connector.
Yeah,
No,
good
you can't
job.
have it even if it's your shoe
That's
size.
okay. You deserve it.
That rang up so high that I almost didn't dig it. I thought, well, maybe it's a silver dollar.
There you go. There you go. This was kind of a blaring mid-80s signal. And I think what this is the part of a doorknob that goes into the mortise and latches it closed. Dan's got a part of a suspender clasp.
Part of a suspender clasp says
Oh, sure
security on it.
Oh, sure enough.
I think I've seen those before.
Yeah.
Security to make sure that your pants don't fall down.
Kind of like depends.
Yeah.
Really.
Do you know that they didn't commonly wear belts until after the Civil War? That's why so many suspender clasps. Belts for holding your pants up.
Yeah, yeah. This is a pretty loud 87, 88. It's either quite big or it's very close to the surface, or maybe both. Ooh, ooh, what is this? Oh, oh, what is that? I think this is a lamp finial. Look at this thing. Oh my goodness. This is beautiful. It must be solid brass. Look at that. Look at that. That is gorgeous. Look at this.
Finial?
I think so.
Yeah.
Isn't that pretty?
On a lamp or something? Maybe?
Yeah. It's not Eastlake, I don't think.
No. It's older than that. No,
Yeah, Victorian of some kind.
yeah.
Wow, I
It might
love
even be a
that.
symbol for something, it looks like.
Maybe, yeah. Cool. I found this shard that has, I believe this is called a flow blue pattern. And this technique was popular, I believe, in the 1850s. So obviously the family could have had some old china. But maybe this site really does go back that far. That would be really cool. Dan said he has something. Dan says he has something here, and I think I heard the word token and aluminum.
Got just the edge of it sticking out here. Enough to know that that's what it is.
Oh, sure enough. Sure enough. We got the scalloped edge, and it's got a hole in it. That's odd.
Oh, a club sign.
Oh, that is cool.
Do you know Prior Lake, Minnesota? Boy, they
Look
traveled
at
around,
that.
didn't they?
They were bar hopping, man.
Yeah. Cafe and bar.
Nice.
Good for 5 cents in trade.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I love finding tokens. I
Good
love it
token
when,
town.
yeah, good token town. I love it when Dan finds tokens too.
Thank you.
Well, here's the surface find that's easy to identify. This is the lock set that went to the house. One of the exterior doors, probably. There's the keyhole for it. There's a very tight 73. I'm running Tecna. The default reactivity on Tecna is 3, but I've bumped this up to 4 in this thick nail bed. And we've sniffed out something in between all the iron here. Okay, what do we have here? Is this looks like the end of a spoon. It sure is. All right. Small, I wonder if this was a baby spoon. Well, here's an interesting piece. I didn't record the swing because it sounded pretty sketchy, but this is all brass. Now, I thought it was a drawer pull, but now I don't think so. This might be a piece to an oil lamp. They could get pretty ornate, but that's kind of cool looking. I wonder if something actually hung right here.
Thought I'd show you a few miscellaneous things
Sure.
I've got that weren't good enough to
Call me over, okay.
Yeah. Got a corset snap. A lot of people don't know what those are, but was an eyelet, a hook and eye sort of thing on a corset.
Mm-hmm.
Got a garter.
Yep.
That's probably for men's socks.
Right.
This is the back to some sort of a pin or
Brooch or
cameo
something.
sort of thing.
Yeah.
You can see where the pin was attached there.
Uh-huh.
And the handle for a silver-plated spoon.
Okay. I found a little spoon handle too. It was not in that good a shape. But...
See, it also got, didn't show you this earlier, but I did get a bent up
Another spoon
from probably the 20s, kind of Art Deco.
Cool.
Yeah.
We're finding stuff. This is an 83. Maybe we finally have our first coin, an Indian head. Oh, it's a coin. It is a coin. And it's going to be an Indian, I'm almost positive. Let's see. Oh yeah, it's an Indian. Well, let's give you a beauty shot of this right here. Well, this was a really messy signal, and I did not record the swing. It cleaned up a little bit after I got a shovelful out, and then I finally found it. It is super small, and I think this is the wheel to a wick riser. It's got some text on there that I cannot quite... Something Co. New York. Well, this was an 8081, but it had a very clipped sound, so I didn't start the camera. But now I can see some round object like a coin or a button. Don't be a shotgun shell. Wah, wah, wah. Well, this signal was in the 50s, and usually that's going to be a piece of mystery metal or some really small bullet or something. This has got a little shape to it. So let's see what this is. I am not sure. It's very lightweight. You see this shape and you think, well, could it be a cover to a padlock? But those are usually thick. So I don't know what that is, but it's clearly something semi-decorative. If you have any idea what that is, why don't you leave me a comment and enlighten us. This was only a one-way signal. In the 70s, I did not record, but clearly it sounded well enough for me to dig it and try it again. But here we have a silver-plated spoon handle. Ooh, you know what? I think it's silver-plated. Could this be solid silver? Yeah, no, now that I have some more of this mud off, I can see some copper around the edges. So this is silver plated. It's just in really good shape for whatever reason. So I will clean that up and get a better shot of it at home. Well, this signal was a really nice sounding 63. Dear, we hope for a nickel. Oh, is it that thing? Well, the answer to dare we hope for a nickel is no. Because all it is this little thin piece of something. That actually looks like it could have come off a suspender clasp, but that is a really terrible specimen if that's what that is. Well, this was a very loud 87, and so loud that I thought, well, this is going to be junk. It's going to be, a piece of copper tubing or something really dumb. But look, I have another token. This one, oh shoot, it's only half of one. Darn. Darn. But it has the scalloped pattern. So I knew right away it was a token. But, oh, what a shame it's not whole. I'm going to swing over this again and see if the rest of it is in here. Something, good for something in trade. Let's see if we can get a place on the other side. That is really disappointing. Looks like it says Snell. Or swell, or something. I'm going to clean that up some more, do a little research, see if I can find out where that came from.
It came from a bar called Snell's Place that served up cold drinks and warm gossip from 1937 into the 50s. The owner, Francis Snell, shows up in local newspapers only once, in 1942, when he was accidentally shot point blank with a 16-gauge shotgun. Miraculously, he survived. We don't know if the bar was open during his recovery, but you gotta think more than a few beers were raised in his honor, and plenty of toasts were made to his health.
Well, okay. There's another 88. I wonder if it could be the other half of that token I just found. 87, it sounds awfully similar. Fingers crossed here. Oh, it is not, but look, I can see what it is immediately. It is a coin right there where the plug is breaking. So what do we have? Wait, is it a coin or a token? At an 87, 88, that would be a Wheatie or a Memorial, and it's definitely not that. So I think this is another token. Yeah, I'm sure it is. And now I can see it's not round. All right, I'm going to clean this off and get back to you. Well, this is a foreign coin, not a token at all. And I think it's got a 1900 date on it. Dan is coming over. We'll see if he can tell with his cheaters. Something foreign.
Oh.
But I think it's 1900 something.
Oh, mine is a thick one, isn't it?
I know.
A little bit of a angled.
Yeah, it's got a little scalloping on it. Not scalloping, but a...
Oh, you got a bust on this side.
Okay, so...
Take this off. Right here. Left-facing bust of somebody.
Can you see the date on the other side? It was either... I think it was 1900 something.
Oh, I didn't notice that. There is writing on that other side with the bust, though.
Could be a 49, and I don't think that's a crown down. I think those are thistles. It's a kind of flower pattern.
Irish? Or is it Scottish?
I couldn't tell you. It just looks like blooms on stalks. So I was close. This is George VI, a 3-cent coin with George there facing left, and some kind of flowers on the other side. So wonder how that got here.
Turns out this flower is a sea thrift, a hardy coastal plant that thrives even in rocky, salty soil. This device was originally chosen for the threepence in 1937 almost as a pun, with thrift representing frugality during the Depression period between wars. But the symbol took on much more meaning after the Second World War broke out and England suffered unimaginable hardships. But like the wildflower itself, England proved to be tough, resilient, and enduring. The thrift plant remained on the brass threepence coin until Queen Elizabeth II ascended to the throne in 1952.
There's an 82. I see a coin down there. So 82. Is this an Indian? No, this is another green lantern, Bill's Green Lantern. What does it say on the bottom? Bill's Green Lantern, Medford. Another one. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Okay.
I got my third total, Bell. What'd you get?
Another token.
Oh, nice.
Same one as I found the first time. It's the
No way.
Bill's Green Lantern in Medford.
No kidding.
Yeah. Got another high ringer at an 88. Let's have another token. It's out. And it's in here. Ooh. What is this? Is this another finial? What the heck? It is. Look at that. It's a different style from the one I found this morning. Let's go get it cleaned off a little bit here. I think it's a different style. Let me clean this off and then I'll pull out the first one. This almost looks like a lyre. Those are very cool. I like those a lot. This was a 55 and I flipped the plug and this flew out. Little spoon bowl, part of a stem, but I don't know if that was plated or probably was. There's not much left on it. Rang up really low for how big it is. Dan's coming over, which means he's got something pretty good.
Well, it's not that good, but it's the first interesting thing in a while.
Okay. Oh.
I don't know if it's a part of a doorknob. That's my guess.
Oh, you think?
Yeah, probably.
I was
At first
gonna
I thought
say-
a bell, but
Yeah, I thought bicycle
but
bell.
I'm thinking like this is not East Lake, of course. I don't believe.
Oh,
Or it might
that
be.
could be, yeah.
It could be,
Got
yeah.
the geometric pattern.
Yeah. I've never seen this pattern, but I've seen East Lake doorknobs. I got some that are
Okay.
two-piece like that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that could very well be then.
Yeah,
I love East Lake.
it's a cool design.
Yeah, it is. Good, that's very cool.
Yeah.
Well, this was a 57. It's pretty low, so I didn't record the swing, but it is a little corset fastener. These are usually made out of a non-ferrous with some iron. They can give you a really bizarre signal, but that is what that is. Well, the battery died on my 9-inch coil, so I had to switch over to this bigger 11-inch coil. It's not as good in nails, separating an iron, but it's deeper. So I'm going to kind of stay to the outskirts of the nail bed and see what I missed with the smaller coil.
Well, my coil battery isn't the only battery that died at the end of the long day. My microphone battery died and I didn't notice. So I have no sound over digging this hole, which ended up producing probably my favorite find of the day. And that is a brass watch fob. The front of it says World's War, April 6, 1917. The back of it reads, "For patriotism and loyalty, presented by citizens of Scott County, Minnesota," with a date that's unreadable, but the year is 1917. But notice the front again, World's War. They didn't call it World War I until there was a Second World War some 21 years later. They couldn't conceive that there would ever be a conflict as widespread and brutal and extensive as the war they had just endured that concluded in 1917. It was the world's war, and I'm sure people hoped it would be the only one that would encompass the whole world. And I think about this watch fob and the 1942 threepence that I found, which was almost certainly brought back by a serviceman 2 men from this farm, this isolated farmhouse in rural Minnesota, went off to a foreign land to serve their country and possibly die. Now, hopefully, because we found these 2 artifacts, it means they came home safe. I hope so. And this is me thanking you for watching, hoping you'll like and subscribe as usual, and promising to pay more attention to my mic next time. So until then, see ya.
Old as